Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Hay Fever Day. Definitely feels like it at the moment. Good morning. Welcome to Friday again. If you are watching, do please type a hello in the comments so that I can be polite and say welcome to Friday. It's all very quiet. Thank you, Jane. And I'm not on my own. Why have I got a drummer's mug?
Because you're special.
Rude. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Gabrielle. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Trudy. Karen frightened the dog, sneezed that loudly. Oh, poor dog. Yes, it's definitely hay fever weather in the UK today. Yep, definitely feeling it. It's not pleasant. Good morning, Xenia. Pete's working this morning, so just me. And Eric is fast asleep. Very productive day. Good morning, Emma. Good morning, Sue. I really don't know how I feel about a drummer's mug.
You used to be one.
For a while. I grew out of it. Good morning, Marit. Good morning, Sue. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kelly. Hope you're all well, enjoying sunny weather. It is lovely here, looking out the window. Yeah, blue sky, sunshine here in a little part of Hampshire.
That's one in the bedroom.
In fact, we sat this morning with the doors to the garden open, eating our breakfast downstairs. It was beautiful. Definitely spring is in the air, although pretty sure the kayak hasn't given up just yet. I'm pretty sure she'll be trying to claim a few days back before the next few weeks are out, that's for sure. Maria's trying to hear you over Luna's purring and making biscuits. Sounds perfect, Maria. Sounds perfect. Sue says, Merry Christmas. Sorry, I really have to see a Christmas film. I'm with you, Sue. Totally. Absolutely with you. It is my favourite time of the year, and I can always watch a cheesy Hallmark Christmas film. So shove over on the sofa. I'm coming over. Good morning, Sharon from sunny Barry, Vale of Glamorgan. Sounds beautiful. Jane said, you were a drummer for 2 minutes last Friday. I was a drummer for a couple of years in an all-girl rock band. There you go, claim to fame. Good morning, Cos. Panic, not Jason. That's his work. No, Jason's crafts are just beautiful to behold. Good morning, Andrea. Good morning, Jackie. My husband said that next week we're supposed to have snow. I did hear that. Yes, that'll be the Kalach. She's fighting back. She doesn't like letting go. She really doesn't. She will have her moment. Xenia, here in northern Germany, it's also sunny. Good. Love spring so much. Finally sunny and singing birds again. Yes, it's nice, isn't it? In the very early hours of the morning when I wake up, you can hear the birds singing and it's lovely.
So they cover your car with poo.
They do cover your car with poo, yes. And on evening dog walks as well, when it's still light and the birds are singing. It's beautiful. Good morning, Vanessa. Oh, just scrolling down. I'm very grumpy this morning.
Yes.
So I'm hoping my chat with you guys will cheer me up.
Me too.
This time next week, when I'm sitting here talking to you, we should be downstairs in a new study. But we have got a stupid, hectic next few days. And I think my brain's gone into overdrive about trying to cope with it all. But I am at the Wild Witchcraft Conference tomorrow, which is going to be fab because always a fantastic event. So I'm looking forward to that. Morning to you all, says Nikki. Evening to us in the south. Good evening, Nikki. Good morning, Willow Moon. Jane has just noticed the first bit of new growth on the elder tree. We had hard pruned in the winter. So pleased, I thought it was dead. It's always a bit of a relief when that happens, isn't it? Good morning, Petronella. It is beautiful, beautiful spring weather. Yeah, I think it is also about not being fooled just yet, because we can still get frosts down here in the south of England, right up until mid-end May, really. But yeah, this next few weeks are kind of, it is spring, it's lovely. Oh, it's freezing cold. It is very hit and miss for the next few weeks. But spring is on the way. Spring is definitely on the way. Willow Moon, no pain, no gain. 6 months, Willow Moon. 6 months, everything has been packed away. 6 months we've been working from her bedroom. It'll be a relief. Good morning, Tony. Sue says all the daffs are out just in time for some snow to kill them. Little narcissi, tiny daffs, have been out for several weeks now, actually. They've been fantastic. Good morning, Christine. Christine promises to be good today. Oh,
Boring.
Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that, Christine. We don't like promises like that. Jane, don't cast a clout till May is out. That's, isn't it? Ne'er cast a clout till May is out, which has something to do with not taking your clothes off or something like that until May is out. Don't look at me like that. Hello from Western Australia, Jill. Love your top. Thank you. Kit and Caboodle. Anyone that's interested in the nice Lagan look type clothes, Kit and Caboodle do very nice things. Xenia, if you go for a holiday these days, you'll have to pack clothes for all seasons because the weather can be everything. It literally can. Literally can. Good morning, Charlie. Hugs all round, definitely. Willow Moon, summer in the sunshine, winter in the shade. Yeah, it is at the moment. It certainly is. Thank you, Xenia. Yeah, it is a nice purpley colour. Maria says one muscari is out. They planted last year, a last spring ritual. Perfect, perfect, perfect. They are such pretty little flowers, which is a nice lead in. How smooth was that? Into what I'm talking about today. I thought I'd go through some of the more well-known spring flowers and how you can work magic with them, what myths they had with them, what associations, correspondences they've got, and how to work with them. So that's the subject for the day. Sue, I heard the other day that May is out means the flowers on the tree which are starting to drop now. Oh, okay. It's all folklore stuff, and it all has basis in fact. It's fascinating folklore. Kelly, I've been trying to start gardening, trying the word. Let's see if I can keep my plants alive this year. Gardening is fantastic to do. It is a way to lose yourself in Mother Nature, that's for sure. We have started doing a bit of tidying up, not too much because insects and things are all, and little animals are all still hiding, waiting for the warmer weather. But we have had a bit of tidy up, planted some seeds in the greenhouse too. It's that time of the year.
Propagation this time.
Definitely. Yeah, we've got to do some dividing too. So let's have a look at some spring flowers. Now, the most obvious one, I reckon, is daffodil. Got to be, really, hasn't it? That is the sign of spring. Bright, beautiful colours. They do come in whites, they do come in peachy colours, but for me, it's the bright yellow daffodil. It just sums up spring and happiness, definitely. Good morning, Jenny. Carrot and hedgehogs are out of hibernation. They're excellent. That's safer for them once they're out. But lots of insects lay eggs, and they're all hiding in all your leaves and all your bits and pieces. So just be mindful when you're clearing stuff away. Daffodils are probably one of my favourite flowers. It is such a welcome sight after the darkness of winter. One word of warning here: don't eat daffodils because they're poisonous. Not that you would eat daffodils, but just in case, daffodil bulbs are very poisonous. Thought I'd mention it. Sue, I think it's about time for some guerrilla seed bombing. That's fun to do. If you've got seed bombs, lots of places do seed bombs now. Or you can make them yourself, just put seeds in clay. Throw them, chuck them out your car window onto the verges. It's probably illegal, but do it anyway. Throw them onto pieces of land.
You're inciting trouble.
I am inciting trouble, yeah. That's just how I roll today. Maybe I need more than, what am I drinking today? Fennel. Maybe I need more than fennel tea. Jane, a lot of the first flowers of spring are yellow, aren't they? Actually, it's in what I was sort of thinking about. A lot of the spring flowers are associated with the element of water, which I find quite interesting. Most of them seem to be, for some reason. All about emotions, I guess. Willow moon, May tree is hawthorn. So once you see the hawthorn blossoms, you're good to go. Yeah, little way to go yet. But hawthorn blossoms are fantastic. Cause I've been doing that on dog walks this week. Excellent. Zenny, I love daffodils and crocuses. The colours are pure joy. Yep, I'm going to cover crocuses. That you did, Sue. Sue made a blog about making seed bombs over on the Kitchen Witch blog. If you want to know how to properly make seed bombs, have a look. Christine says, don't let dogs eat the bulbs of daffies. They're toxic. Yeah, the bulbs of daffodils are very, very unpleasant. One of Christine's dogs ate some, was violently sick. Spaniels are particularly daft. I have to go with that one. But yes, very, very poisonous to animals, daffodil bulbs. So do be careful. Jane says, how about chucking wildflower seed bombs into neglected front gardens? I think you're edging into private property there, just a little bit. Maria went out with someone who decided to eat daffodil bulbs when he was drunk and ended up like your dog. Well, that serves him right. There you go. So daffodils, other than please don't eat them, or please don't leave them where your animals can eat them, carry daffodil with you for all matters connected with the heart. So it's definitely a flower of love. Keep it in the bedroom to increase fertility. So if you want the pitter-patter of tiny little feet, put a little bowl of daffodils in your bedroom. No, we're not having them. Definitely not having them. Far too old for those kind of things. Having the dog's bad enough. But pitter-patter of tiny feet, obviously, could include animals if you're after a puppy or a kitten or a llama. I don't know, I like llamas. Actually, I'd like a goat, some chickens and a pig. But my garden's really not big enough. But remember that fertility does cover all kinds of things. It's not just babies. So if you are looking to birth a new project, a new venture, new ideas, that covers fertility, covers that as well. And daffodils are really good for that. In fact, that's one of the key things that I use daffodils in magic for, is new beginnings, new ideas, and the fertility of new ventures. Daffodil brings with it the magic of rebirth as well. So it is excellent to use in any kind of new and rejuvenated renewal type magic as well. Good morning, Heather. Jackie says, so are Rotty puppies. Raven eats anything and everything. Eric eats plastic. He is quite partial to that. He eats little pieces of wood as well, much to the dismay of the carpenter when he was building air units, because Eric ate a piece of wood that he needed. Birds do it all the time. They do, Jane, indeed. Because daffodils always look like they should be making trumpet noises. With that, yes, the middle bit of the flower is called the trumpet, isn't it? Maria, you'd have no plants left with the goat. No, they really do eat everything, but I do love them. And in fact, pigs eat pretty much anything as well. If you dropped dead in a pigsty, it would probably eat you too. That's my tip of the day for getting rid of dead bodies. Willow moon, yellow rattle will take over grass. I'm rather tempted. Yes, all of when you have the wildflower meadows seed mixes, they put yellow rattle in because it does keep the grass down, because normal lawn grass will take over everything. I'm going to put some of these up because I'm just slow this morning. Jane, I used a dead daffodil to wipe camphor oil down the spine of an Avon book once to stop a customer chicken. Worked a treat. Excellent. We like Avon spells. Daffs are flower for the Cancer Society in New Zealand. Yes, they are over here as well. So they sell big buckets for fundraising. Best donation ever. Yes, I bought a daffodil pooch once over here, I think. Good morning, Kay. Scrolled up. It's all going pear-shaped. Maria, I could get chickens. Like, I'm not sure what Eric would make of the chickens. Yeah, but I would love some chooks. That would be fun. Good morning, Esther. Working on the midnight shift. Oh, I hope it goes smoothly. Willow Moon, there is something magically symbolic about the colour of yellow at this time of the year. Absolutely. Yellow for me is a colour of happiness anyway. It's bright and sunshiny. And in the sort of doom and gloom that's been winter, it is the first sign that spring is on the way, isn't it? Sue has a lovely lawn, very green, but no grass, just lots of weeds. Weeds are just plants that are in the wrong place. So you just have a wildflower lawn, that's all. Kay had my yellow flowers in the window on the 23rd for National Remembrance Day. Even made a large paper yellow flower. Beautiful. Nikki, get some bantam chooks. Perfect for a small garden and cleaning up stray garden critters without doing too much damage. Yes, they eat all the little insect things, don't they? I'm not sure I could convince Pete to have chooks as well as Eric.
Right.
He's not even looking me in the eye at the moment. Xenia, yes, it is. Yellow is a happy, sunny colour and raises happiness, definitely. So yeah, happy, bright, sunny flowers. Good morning, Alex. Hope you're feeling okay. Having daffodils growing in your garden brings protection. It brings protection to your house, and it also helps clear out negative energies. I also work with daffodil with its bright, sunshiny, happy energy. To remove any negative energies or vibes. They're quite good in hex breaking things as well as an addition, because it is that bright spring renewal sunshiny energy. Having daffodils in your house brings luck, love and good blessings to your home. So they are a good all-round happy positive vibe kind of flower. So they bring luck, fertility, protection, love, and exorcism, as in and hex breaking and getting rid of negative energy. They're ruled by the planet Venus. Their sign is Leo. They are the element of water, and their gender is feminine. Fantastic plant to work with, and drying them could not be easier. The plant does it itself. Your daffodil flowers, and then the flower dries on the stem. So as the flower goes over, it stays on the stem, and it literally dries to crinkly dry paper on the flower stem. So then you just pinch the flower off and it's already dried, and then I store it and use it for magic. So perfect all round. Let's go. Lots of comments. Jane, yellow is used in marketing to make people notice things. It's nice that it makes us notice. Yeah, it is a kind of shout out colour, isn't it? Sylvia, I have your flower magic incense blend. It smells so nice. Thank you. That was designed specially for me by the children of Artemis. I love it. I'm glad you like it. Tip, I often put melaleuca or tea tree in the water for flowers. It helps to give them longevity in the vase. Good tip. Thank you. Sarah, hi Sarah, love bulb flowers, so my favourite time of year, seeing them everywhere. Yeah, I do. Spring flowers, there's something a bit special about them, isn't there? Forgot to mention, I buried the dead daff in a hole where I planted a new valerian plant. Now we've got valerian everywhere, and so for the neighbours. That's the fertility of it all. Heather, I have to say, I really miss the huge banks of daffodils in the spring. They don't grow naturally in Florida. Too hot, yeah. And the pots of daffs I buy from the local supermarket always die off really fast. Heather's in America, by the way. Yeah, we're lucky. The council tends to plant loads of daffodil bulbs all along the banks beside the roads. Christine, we had a chook in our garden and I fed all the slugs and snails. Yeah, the chickens do like that, don't they? I never could eat her eggs though. Ugh. Oh, okay. Used to sing while hanging me washing out, and she used to join in clucking too, singing chicken. Swear she was half human and she laughed at my jokes too. I love they've got such brilliant characters. Such brilliant characters. Maria has the incense too from Artemis, thank you. Xenia, daffodil is also the flower of Wales. It is indeed. Maria, there were carpets of daffodils in Kew Gardens. Fantastic. Daffodils in your garden to alert you to intruders in protection spells. They do bring a huge amount of protection. They look like a loudspeaker. Just made that up, but it's good symbolism magically. It makes me think of Alice in Wonderland and all the flowers that talk. But daffodils they are protective in your garden. They are very protective. And I use them in protection spells too. Also have the Children of Artemis flower. Thank you, it smells so good. Actually, all of the Children of Artemis incense is brilliant. I've got several of them. They smell really beautiful and the scent lasts. And a lot of incense, I find, the loose ones, you read the label and it says it's this and it's that, and you sniff it and it smells quite nice. But when you burn it, it doesn't smell the same. The Children of Artemis stuff does. It really does what it says on the tin. So witchcraft.org, I think, is their website. They also run the Veiled Market, so have a look for that as well. But yes, I highly recommend their incense. Melanie, seeing spring flowers brings new hope. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, I love my forsythia this time of year, as like the wisteria, the flower comes before the leaves, and so I have a huge bush of yellow right now. Perfect, perfect. Sarah, roundabouts are beautiful. Yes, a lot of the roundabouts around here are filled with daffodils. Heather would like to go to Kew. Kew Gardens are brilliant. If you get the opportunity to go to Kew Gardens, they are fantastic. Xenia, love chickens. They are superb. Can't have chickens, but a colleague has, no, a bit jealous. Oh, and yes, small chicks right now. Fantastic. Nikki, inspired to go bonkers with Das for next spring. Autumn here, so good time to plan for magic. Perfect. It does. The Children of Artemis incense, spot on. Spot on. Karen loves Kew Gardens. Yeah, if you get the chance to visit anyone, that's Eric being grumpy. My Easter tree is from my forsythia shrub. Perfect. Also daffs in the garden. It has eggs hanging on them and bunnies too. Brilliant. We obviously need to see photos of that, Christine. Maria loves Children of Artemis incense too. Yep, it bang. Good morning, Leslie. Sylvia, for people with asthma and cannot burn the traditional way, if you can't use incense, loose incense with the smoke, because it's the resin in it. It's the resin that gives off most of the smoke. I put mine in an oil burner. So I put a bit of sand in the dish of the oil burner, and then I put the loose incense on the top, light the tea light underneath, and the heat from it sends the scent out, but without the smoke. Maria, my osteosperma's flower now. Also, that's early. I love the way they open up when the sun comes out. That's very early. Denise, but beautiful. Newborn chicks look like mini dinosaurs. When nephews were little, I had some chicks hatch. My sister had a very interesting conversation with the teacher about the boys. Bless you, that's the hay fever working on Pete. About the boys' auntie breeding dinosaurs. They are related, aren't they? There is a connection there. Dinosaurs and chickens, not the teacher. Totally different note. Dead body tip number 2. Cover it with endangered plants. It's illegal to dig them up. Very wise. Very wise. And if you want to keep the smell of a dead body down, cat litter. Apparently works very well. Just, Kelly, we're looking at going to Alnwick Castle. Oh, I've not been there. It's not far from us, but apparently beautiful. Oh, we need pictures of that, obviously. Maria, use table salt of sand to put your loose incense on in the oil burner. Perfect. Melanie, am I at Witchfest Midlands this year? Indeed I am. Myself and Pete will be there. I am giving a talk. I can't remember what it's on, but I am giving a talk at Witchfest Midlands, yes, so I will be there. Kay has beautiful little primroses popping up, small but lovely. See, we're halfway through and I've only done one plant so far. I have got primroses to cover as well. Xenia, yes, dinosaurs and chickens are related. Chickens can be very fierce and can attack people. And have I been bumping people off? I'm not going to answer that question on any grounds. Look forward to it. I'm terrible with names and faces, but please do come up and introduce yourself and say hello. That would be fab. As well, Melanie, do come up and say, because I am dreadful with names and faces. Yep, it is hay fever. My nose is going already, and I've had antihistamines this morning. Sue says, Alnwick Castle in Northumberland is beautiful. Put that on the list. Oh, let's not even go there, Nikki. 2 chickens and a mouse is brutal. Let's not. Willow Moon, I have an abundance of lizards in the garden. I call them my dinosaurs. They have no teeth, so I have to pick them up on the porch and take them back outside. I don't think I've ever had a lizard in the garden. I've had a toad, but not a lizard. Xenia, please don't let your talk at which Christmas. Absolutely not up to me, the scheduling, but I hope not too, because, obviously I like the prof too. Yes, no comment. My friend had a crocodile and it used to attack her. She looked so funny fighting with it back. They can get quite angry, can't they? So, from dinosaurs and dead bodies, on to crocus. Don't think there's a link there at all. Crocus, I love crocus too. It's Air Council plant them along the grass verges, along the roadsides as well. And they are so pretty, whites and purples and yellows. It is another one of the first flowers to come through for spring. They often grow in woodlands and meadows, but are cultivated for gardens too. The crocus brings with it the promise of spring. New projects, new ideas, new ventures, and if you're looking for it, they bring love with them as well. You can grow crocus in your garden or bring a bowl of crocus indoors to promote love in your home. Keep a pot of crocus by your front door, and they'll bring happiness and hope to your household. Visualize a crocus or hold a crocus when you meditate. And allow the spirit of the plant to take you on a journey and share its knowledge and wisdom with you via visions. But I think that's the same with all plants. Every single plant has a spirit. And if you meditate and journey to meet that spirit, they can give you a whole heap load of knowledge and insight and can help you with healing of all kinds, physical, spiritual, mental. I think that goes with any plant, really. But it works particularly well with crocus because crocus is known for bringing visions. So it works very well. Christine, my friend had a cockcrow. Oh yeah, we've done that one, haven't we? It was funny, so we've gone back to that one. We had awful hay fevers in here, just gone, but found elderberry really good this year. Oh, okay, elderberry is very good for healing throats and coughs and colds and things like that, isn't it? So, Christine, the poison garden in Alnwick Castle was superb. I have seen lots of information about that. It does look like a fascinating place. Sarah, slow worms rescuing is interesting. I've not seen any in our garden. Haven't seen any. Elderflower tea. The girls, the Kitchen Witch gang, make elderflower cordial, and that's very good for the throat and coughs and colds. Jane, no wonder chickens and cockles are so feisty. If they used to be dinosaurs, yeah. I wonder what they did to get cut down to that size. I have no idea. I wasn't there. I'll ask Pete later. He was there. Kay, how I love crocus growing in the spring lawn. Yeah, they do. They look fantastic. Yes, the saffron comes from the crocus. Comes from the stamens of a particular type of crocus, which is probably why it's so expensive to buy, because crocus stamens are tiny. Claire says, I have nettle, quercetin, and local honey for hay fever. Nice. Maria, trying to work out what can mix with hyacinth petals in incense as they smell very different dried. The petals won't carry the scent. If you want it to smell like hyacinth petal, I would add a couple of drops of a flowery essential oil, just to kind of boost it. Jane says, homemade elderflower wine makes you forget you've got a sore throat. My dad used to make homemade elderflower wine. It was lethal. Absolutely lethal. Emma, we never actually planted our crocus or primroses. All the birds did that for us. They're beautiful. That's Mother Nature doing its thing, isn't it? That's fantastic. So crocus is really good for working with for visions, but it brings love, happiness, hope, blessings, and new beginnings. It's another one ruled by Venus. The sign is Aquarius. It's another element of water, and it's another feminine one as well, just like daffodils. Similar, I guess, characteristics, personalities, but both very beautiful.
I was watching.
So, Camellia is the next one. I love camellia plants. We had a beautiful, huge camellia bush in our garden with huge pink flowers. And when the flowers drop, they stay whole. And you can just pick them up, put them on kitchen towel and dry them whole. They're fantastic. Unfortunately, we lost it. But we are debating a new one. But camellia is, for me, the money flower. It's all about prosperity and abundance. They are evergreen as well, so nice green leaves, and the flowers flower at this time of the year. So they are one of the first plants to flower. Whites, pinks, reds, very, very pretty. But they are money, wealth, riches, abundance, luxury, the whole kit and caboodle of all the things you could ever wish for. It brings riches. It opens your heart to the abundance of the whole universe. Although it's always polite just to say thank you if you've been working with camellia, like anything else. Keeping a camellia shrub growing in your garden should ensure, disclaimer, should ensure that riches come your way and that you will never be short of money. Use the flower petals in money spells, pouches, poppets, witch bottles, whatever you want, to bring that abundance energy in. But remember that with wealth, it's not always in the cash form. It's not always in material form. Camellia can bring spiritual riches. It can bring emotional riches, family, friendship. Abundance and wealth is about all things, not just material things. Just remember to be a bit thankful for what you have as well. I keep a few dried camellia petals in my money jar. You know, the little jars you keep with the loose change in that you chuck in. I always keep a few camellia petals in there just to kind of keep the whole prosperity thing going. Jane said, I bought a book in the 70s called Narcotic Plants. I forgot all about it, but now you're making me see a new light. Just be careful. Okay, camellia being evergreen is a wonderful plant in the blossom. They are, it is. Maria's one is suffering. They like coffee grounds, camellias. They like the acidic soil. You can buy special soil for them if you've got it in a pot as well. And they do need feeding. Nikki, good health is wealth. It is, absolutely. That's the word I was looking for, Christine. Thank you. Ericaceous soil. That gives camellia a boost. We put air coffee grounds in it as well. Likes a cup of coffee. So camellia is all about abundance, prosperity, and all things related to wealth. But it's also a very spiritual flower as well. So it covers the whole spirituality thing as well. Ruled by the moon. It is another water and another feminine one. Getting a pattern here. Jane said, family and friends. Yep. Wealth, abundance, it covers all of that. Sue, my coffee shop gives away bags of used coffee grounds. Quite a lot of them do, and they're very useful, particularly for that kind of plant. Don't use tap water as it changes the soil. Yes, with camellias in particular, yeah, it is wise, isn't it, to use rainwater when you can. Because tap water's got all sorts of things in it, hasn't it? Probably best not to think about. Someone mentioned primrose earlier. Another very pretty spring flower. beautiful sight at the beginning of spring. If you go to any of the garden centres at this time of the year, they are full of brilliantly coloured pots of primrose. They also grow wild, under hedges, on banks, in the woods. Long crinkly leaves, downy underneath, yellow, pink or white 5-petal flowers. They are a dying species in the wild, so please don't pick them from the wild. Do you not like primroses? Please don't pick primroses in the wild. They are sacred and not for picking. Leave them to Mother Nature. But there are lots of them that you can buy in the garden centres. So use the cultivated ones or the ones from your own garden for spell work. Primroses are a flower of the fairies. They will entice the fae into your garden and help you create a connection with them. But please remember that inviting the fairy into your garden is opening the door to a whole heap of all sorts of things. Be prepared. Don't just say, oh, fairies, lovely fairies, sparkly, let's invite them in. Please do your research first. He's singing. Please do your research first and make sure that you really do want to attract the fairies to your garden. Just be careful. Primrose can also be used in any kind of working to help you deal with changes. So it's a really good flower to help deal with transitions and any changes that you have to deal with or coming your way. What are you doing? The dog here. Plant primroses in your garden will also bring strong protection. They also bring personal and material growth. So another really good all-rounder one as well. Love, protection, changes, growth. Because they're spring, they bring the whole fertility thing with them as well. I also read in one of the old books that primroses can be used as a cure for madness. I can't prove that one. It never worked for me. So primroses are love, protection, connection to the world of fairy, changes and growth. Another Venus plant, this one is actually element of earth and it's feminine as well, but really, really pretty flowers, really, really useful for working magic with. Good morning, Tony. Jane, very hard to grow primroses here. They get munched by mollusks. Yeah, we have a slug problem in our garden. Yes, Eric is bored. I think he wants to go out actually. I might have to ask my assistant.
My lovely assistant.
My lovely assistant to take him out. Because Eric can get up the stairs, but he can't get down the stairs. Of course, I have a few wild primroses under the trees at the back of the garden, lurking with the cyclamen and the bluebells. Beautiful. Jane, purple and yellow lace primroses look magical and make a safe alternative to henbane if you like those colours. Perfect. Kelly, I'm not very good at spotting which flower is which, so I have an app that when you take a photo of the plant, it tells you. Yes, there are some brilliant phone apps for identifying flowers and plants, particularly if you like to forage. It's very, 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 very wise to identify the plant properly, so that you don't poison yourself or anyone else, because that's not good. Karen's garden full of primroses, beautiful. Christine, ground coffee. Oh, we'll stop the slugs on primroses. Do they not like it? Are they tea drinkers? Have you ever used Sluggo? I don't know what Sluggo is, Maria. What's Sluggo? Come on, enlighten us. Sarah, I'm making a fairy village in my garden. Very pretty. Just be careful. Sue, my sister had little Eric. They had to build a set of steps so he could get on the bed. Yeah. Eric has a footstool that he jumps on to get up onto the bed because he can't get up without it. He can go up the stairs, but he can't go downstairs in the house. So he has to be carried down. That's the one I use as well, Maria. It's very good. It is brilliant, although it felt, generally it identifies things, doesn't it?
Sunning himself.
He wants to sit in the sun, doesn't he?
Yeah.
now that the weather's changed, and we actually have a dining room with glass windows, he likes to sit. This is Eric, not Pete. He likes to sit in his armchair in the window,
In sunshine.
sunbathing. Are primrose related to roses? They are a completely different genus, so I would have to say no. I'm not a botanist, but they are a completely different genus, so I'm assuming not.
Did you say botanist?
Not botanist,
Oh.
botanist. Default kit. Picture this. Oh, I don't know that one, Vanessa. Thank you. Nikki, we had a Dachshund as kids. Mum wanted a Doberman. Dad said same colour. Just yes, that's Eric. Pretty much. He has the idea that he's a Doberman or a Rottweiler. He's just a lot smaller. So from primroses on to hyacinths. I think hyacinths are beautiful, but they are so highly scented that I can't have them in the house, because with both of us suffering from hay fever, our eyes would be streaming the entire time, because the scent on hyacinth is so strong. But they are beautiful. Very pretty flowers. Come in all sorts of colours. Purple, pink, white, yellow. Fantastic for if you want scented flowers in your house. But they are, bear in mind, they're a bit potent. They can bring a sense of peace, happiness and calm, along with hay fever. Keep a hyacinth in your bedroom to ensure a good sleep and to keep nightmares away, if you don't get hay fever. You can use dried hyacinth petals in spell work for love and abundance. They are really useful for that. They do bring that kind of energy with them. Love, happiness, peace, sleep, protection against nightmares, and they also bring that abundance energy in as well. Another Venus plant, another water one, another feminine one. See, I said there was a pattern and hyacinth is no different. But absolutely fantastic, particularly for the peace and happiness kind of vibe. Also good for growing onions in. Okay. What's good for growing onions in? Enlighten us, John. Yeah, I can't do hyacinths. The scent is too strong. Maria, supposed to be pet friendly, and the snails and slugs eat it and then go in a... Oh, like the Scarlet Pimpernel and Blackadder. I don't know that one. Yeah, be careful with hyacinths if you do have asthma or hay fever, because they're really not good for that. Okay, I don't think you can get a descented hyacinth. Now there's a strange thing. Jane Mortimer, hyacinths does me up like a kipper. Smoke me a kipper, I'll be back for breakfast. Sorry, red dwarf moment. So if I'm gifted some in a pot, I have to banish them to the shower room and then plant. Yeah, they are so strong. The scent it's amazing, really, that the scent is that strong. Bit like Pete, who's putting on his rituals hand cream now because I can smell it. According to his voice, Eric might think he's a Doberman. Oh, he does. He thinks he's a Rottweiler. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, okay. Coffee grounds for growing onions in. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Thank you for that. Trudy, the scent in the harbour garden in Dartmouth was heady, but the colour with the... Yeah. It is the whole combination of spring flowers and all of those they're all bright, vibrant colours, aren't they? So it does look beautiful. The other plant to mention next is tulips. It's slightly early yet, but they will be up soon. The daffs come up first and then tulips a bit later. Another bulb. Place a tulip on your altar or beside your bed to attract or keep a lover. Tulips help you to expand your ability to love, and they release any fears connected to it, which is quite useful. Plant tulips in your garden to bring peace to your home and abundance and prosperity. So there's quite a theme running through all of these spring plants. Most of them are really good for peace. Most of them are bring a positive energy when you bring them into the house, and most of them bring abundance and prosperity. I think it's all tied in with that spring renewal, new life kind of energy. Keep tulip petals in your purse or your wallet to ensure you always have money. So tulip is love, peace, prosperity, but it also brings in a bit of protection as well. Another Venus one, another feminine one, but this one's earth. But fantastic colours. I think tulips are one of my favourite spring. I know I said this for every single flower, but I think tulips are one of my favourite flowers too. Hi Eve. Kay's tulips are budding at the moment. Fantastic. Sarah's favourite too. Maria, my tulips are out but hasn't flowered yet. I carry their dry petals in my purse and pockets. Perfect. It is really good for bringing in the prosperity. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful flowers. John, my third year stuck 3 hyacinths in a pot in the garden. Now I have 12 flowering. A bit away from the bench, but the smell is great when al fresco dining. Perfect. And the fact that daffodils are the same, aren't they? They grow. Each year you'll get more and more. Tulips, not so much. Tulips aren't so good the next year. But, they're all different. They all work differently. They're all useful in different places. Eva planted over 400 tulip and daffodil bulbs in her garden last fall, waiting for them to come up, but our garden is quite shaded. That's going to be stunning when they all come out. That will be fantastic. Another one that I've picked for spring, and possibly not one that you would associate with spring flowers as such, but that is lungwort, Pulmonary Aficionalis, if you want to be fancy. It's a clump-forming evergreen. It's a herbaceous perennial. It's all covered in tiny little bristly hairs. The leaves are oval, and they're often covered in white spots. Part of the plant coloration, not because it's spattered with paint or something. The little tiny flowers are purple, violet, blue, or pink. Sometimes you get all the different shades on the same plant. It is a common plant found in the wild. It's a member of the borage family. The leaves do look a little bit similar. The leaves were used medicinally originally as a pulmonary herb because they believed the leaves resembled lung tissue. This is the doctrine of signatures. This is where a lot of these correspondences come from. Because the leaves looked like lung tissue, they decided that it was good for curing lung issues. It kind of makes some sort of sense. Christine, love bluebells, and I had 6 cultivated ones given to me. Now I have hundreds of them. Scent is amazing. Oh, how perfect. How perfect. John, aren't you supposed to keep tulips away? Oh, I don't know about tulips. Definitely daffodils. Daffodils and pets don't mix. John, you're making me feel... Go and get some. Well, wait till the end of this. Then go and get some. Yeah, having spring flowers in the house is beautiful. Christine loves Pulmonary. I think it's really underrated. I think it gets forgotten a lot. Cos just Googled it. That's everywhere. It does take over. Are they also called viola? No, different plant, Kay. It's Pulmonary, lungwort. It's different to viola. Violas are little tiny pansy plants. No, different plant. Jane has loads of Pulmonary arrived from nowhere in a garden. Must be. Could be. See? Mother Nature knew. That or the birds pooped the seeds, Maria. That's tulips. They're in a pot. Yeah, I would imagine tulips are the same as daffodils for pets. Just be careful with stuff, really. But Pulmonary, I think, lungwort, is very underrated. It's a very pretty little plant. Because of its history with healing lung issue, it makes a really good magical healing plant too. It works well for medicine pouches, incense blends, to clear and cleanse and release any emotional blockages or situations where there's a stalemate. Pulmonary kind of clears away all of that, clears it all out and gives you free plain sailing. You can also add it to incense blends to bring about calm and soothing energy in your house. So lungwort really is about healing and cleansing and calming things down, releasing any blockages, so that, you know, it's a kind of plant. Ruled by Mercury. It is the element of earth, and it is the first one of their spring plants that's masculine, but very, very, very useful little plant, and very underrated, I think, but really good for working magic with. Emma, our daffs are out as well as our lavender. The smell will be lovely once they really get going. Perfect. Christine, little violets are so pretty. They are. But you get one in the garden and they're everywhere. Yeah, their seeds are shot out after the flower. Like they don't. The seed thing bursts, and it shoots all the seeds everywhere. So if you want lots of pretty flowers for free, violets, you're on. Another one that is flowering at springtime is heather. Found mostly on moors, hillsides, heaths, boggy places. It likes acidic soil. Apparently sheep like to eat it as well. You know, whenever I think of heather, other than thinking of a very lovely kitchen witch, Hearth Guardian Heather, who's a beautiful Disney princess, when I think of heather, I think about gypsy sellers. Not so many anymore, but when I was younger, they used to be all over the place. Wherever you went shopping, there was a gypsy seller asking if you wanted to buy lucky heather. And it's been associated with luck for years. White heather is apparently the best for working with for luck. It's also a really cleansing flower to use to clear sacred space. It can be used in spells to bring rain, should you wish to. It can also be used in spells to conjure ghosts, if you wish to. To bring about rain, burn some heather in an incense blend. Bunch together some longish stems of heather to make a small broom for cleaning, clearing, not sweeping the floors, but for spiritual cleaning, clearing and cleansing ritual circles and sacred space. It's perfect for that. Pink heather works well for love and friendship. Really good for that. Purple's excellent for any kind of spirit work. The purple heather is also said to open a portal between this world and the world of fairy. Again, be careful, be warned, do your research about fairies first. Heather also aids in shape-shifting with the actual sort of transformation part of it and protecting you whilst you are in your other form. Drop a few heather flowers into your floor wash to cleanse, purify and protect your home. Perfect for making little pillows. It brings interesting dreams. So if you've got a sleep pillow, add some heather flowers to it, and it brings interesting dreams and helps with journeying as well. Perfect for lots of things: luck, protection, cleansing, spirit work, rain, love, friendship, fairy work, dreams, shape-shifting, trying to remember all the things. Really, really brilliant. I use heather flowers quite a lot, actually, in all sorts of things. It's a really, really useful one to have. Another one ruled by Venus, another one that's water, and another one that's feminine. But really, really useful plant. Really useful plant. Going back to all the comments now. John, wasn't with you on Pulmonary, but I know lungwort. Posh names. That'll be the Latin. Yeah, lungwort is what I know it as well. But the posh name's Pulmonary. Nikki says spring blossom. Spring blossom, cherries and various other things are really in the UK about May time. So I will cover those in a later one. Gabrielle says, there's a saying that if you live on the land for 20 years, Mother Earth will know what your body needs and it will grow. I like that. I agree with that totally. Trudy says, lots of heather in the Cynon valleys, purple mostly. Beautiful. Heather, didn't know you were there. More Ursula than the princess. No, you're a beautiful princess, Disney princess. Driving home from Whitby as a kid, Dad pulled over to get some lucky heather. Car broke down 3 minutes later. Obviously a cursed lucky heather. Jane, I bought a little bunch of lucky heather from a gypsy in Romford years ago. She'd sprayed them with Avon's Occur perfume. Okay, I've never heard that one before. You don't see heather being sold anymore. I don't, a dying thing, I suppose. Christine says lavender buds and vodka together make an excellent air freshener in the room. Nice. Yes, very nice. Xenia, we have large areas of heather in northern Germany. In August, they're in full bloom. Beautiful, beautiful. There are different types of heather. There are spring flowering varieties, which is ones I'm covering now, but there are varieties that flower later in the year. Kay, just found my language of flower book. Daffs, chivalry, promise, early youth, tulips, yellows. Yeah, if you've got this one, it's got the Victorian flower language list in there as well. It lists all of them in there. Very useful, very interesting to know. And another one that should be in ericaceous soil, definitely. Okay, heather gin. I quite like the idea of that. Yeah. Forage, lots of Dartmoor has lots of heather, absolutely. Tony, do you say be careful, fairy? Can you give him 11 example? I think this. What I mean is the whole world of fairy should be dealt with very, very carefully. It was the Victorians that put the ideas in our head that fairies are all beautiful, flittery little things that love us and want to help us. The world of fairy is generally mischievous on the positive side, dark on the not so positive side. If you enter into the world of fairy, do your research first. The whole world of fairy needs to be dealt with very, very carefully. If you want more information, I would definitely look at Morgan Daimler. She's got lots of books on fairy, and she also has a very good blog written about them too. Love that. Thank you, Heather. Eva, I haven't got Forsythia on my list today, actually. I've got other things, but not Forsythia. I don't know why, Eva. I don't know as Forsythia has any particular general ideas, but it's yellow. So I would go with Colour Magic on Forsythia. It's yellow, so it's bright and it's happy. And so it would be cheerful, happiness, friendship. It's also quite spiky, isn't it? So I would say that Forsythia would be really good for protection as well. Thank you, Kay. Maria. Fairies do just cause mischief, but there is a whole darker side to them as well. So do your research first. Don't be fooled by the whole Disney idea of fairies. Trudy, typical Trudy thing. Sitting on a rock surrounded by heather, my happy place. Sounds perfect to me. Jenny. Victorian language of flowers is amazing. How you could say it is, isn't it? They did literally. You got a bouquet of flowers, and depending what was in it, could be a nice message or not so nice message. Christine, fairies bite back. Don't thank. Oh no, never thank fairies for anything. Fairies don't like to be thanked. It means nothing to them. Yeah, they want a gift, definitely. The whole world of fairy is quite complicated. There is a lot of etiquette involved in it. If you are going to work with them, and I'm not saying that it's not beneficial to work with them, because it can be, but you need to do your research first. Apparently fairies would rather give them a load of verbal abuse than be polite, which is why I say do your research. Eva, stuck on it in the flower magic class. Eva, message us. Message myself or the support email, and we'll give you a hand. Don't get stuck on stuff. Just message us and we'll give you a hand. When we moved to our new house, we actually saw divas and they scared us both. Other half now believes in them, as they had really fierce faces at night mostly. So I used to put out offerings and they stopped scaring us. For anyone that's unfamiliar with the word divas, we're not talking, Tina Turner. Divas are the architects of the garden, really, but part of the fairy world, and you do have to give them a huge amount of respect. Sarah, I give them a small glass of mead every week. They do like gifts. They don't like thanks. They like gifts. Okay, I mentioned Forsythia. Yeah, it is a beautiful plant. Beautiful plant. Willow Moon. My husband planted me black tulips. Fantastic. They were gorgeous, but following years they changed colour. Tulips are one of those things that the first year they're brilliant. Daffodils, first year they're brilliant. Second year they double. Third year they keep going and they get better and better. Tulips not so much. Once they've done their first year, they're never really as good. There is a book called 5 Languages of Love. One is a gift, and that's the whole fairy language. So for any fairy information, check out Morgan Daimler. She lives, breathes, and works with fairies, and she will tell you the honest truth about them. Christine used to feel the divas sucking out my energy at night. They really, and they do have to be respected. Fairies will help to save nature, but there's always a price. There's always a price to pay in magic anyway. It's all about balance, checks and balances. But yeah, fairies are peed off with us because of what we've done to Mother Nature, I think. But there you go. I'm desperately trying to do the last couple of plants because I've talked for ages about all sorts of things. Anemone pulsatilla, perennial spring flowering plant. Very pretty, brightly coloured flowers. Anemone brings protection, especially against negative energy. Use the flower petals in health and healing workings as well. So anemone is protection, healing, and health. Ruled by the planet Mars, the element of fire, and a masculine one, so a little bit different to all the others, but really, really pretty plants and very useful to use in protection and healing things. Iris is another one. I have to admit, it's not one of my favourite plants. We don't have iris in the garden because I'm not a big fan. But they are pretty. The name iris comes from the Greek word for rainbow. The iris bulb is also referred to as orris root. Definitely a moon plant. Use iris for any kind of moon magic, including divination and dream work. Also use iris to draw love to you. In Hoodoo, the root of iris is called the Queen Elizabeth root, and it's referred to as the love drawing herb. So that tells you what you need to know about it. Bring iris flowers into the house to cleanse and purify the energies. The iris flower also symbolises faith, wisdom, and valour. So iris is wisdom, purification, moon magic, divination, dreams, and love. Ruled by the moon, but also by Venus. So you've got a double whammy of emotions and love there. Element of water, and it's a feminine one. So iris is particularly useful for all of those things. Sylvia offers fairies amarettos. Oh, drunk fairies. Freshly baked cake, definitely. Hybridized or modified plants tend to regress back to their original state. Yep, they will do. And their seed will never come true either. Multicoloured aquiledias will eventually revert, don't they, to the purple columbines. They all self-seed all around their garden, but a little bit early for them just yet. But I've done a blog on aquiledias, columbine. I've done a blog and I've done a talk. So if you want to have a look on the magical properties of those, I have done that separately. Okay, and then pulsatilla, that's the Latin name. Hawthorn trees are known as fairy trees, absolutely. The flowers are great, yes, but they flower in May, aren't they? A little bit early for those. The last one I've got to cover is Lily of the Valley. Again, not a particular favourite of mine, but pretty little plants, very fragrant. They have white flowers, and then in the autumn, they have red berries. Add Lily of the Valley to incense or bath water to cleanse your energy and bring about happiness. I think I associate the scent of Lily of the Valley with old ladies. Not that I'm not an old lady myself, but plant Lily of the Valley in your garden to bring happiness. It's quite an old-fashioned scent, isn't it, I think? Plant the Lily of the Valley in your garden to bring happiness and success to your home and to provide protection as well. The flowers look like tiny cups, so this plant is another one associated with fairy. The flowers are said to ring and are said to be used as ladders by the fairy. I don't know what the truth behind that is. It could just be folklore. I think fairies don't need ladders. I think that's probably a bit of Victorian folklore. Folklore also says that Lily of the Valley blooms on the grave of a person who was executed for a crime they are innocent of committing. I don't know where that one came from, but it's interesting. Use Lily of the Valley in workings and incense to help with your divination skills and your magical powers as well. It's very good for that. So Lily of the Valley is happiness, cleansing, success, fairies, divination and magic. Ruled by Mercury. It's the element of air and it's a masculine one. So very interesting to see. Just go back up here. Sarah needs to buy some anemone. They are pretty. Jenny, Morgan Daimler book just jumped into my basket. It must have been the fairies. She has a really good blog as well, Jenny. So do have a look at her blog. She does so much research. The knowledge she has on fairies is, well, she's the guru, my go-to for anything fairy. Sarah, not good at keeping plants alive. I'm not so good with houseplants. Garden ones, fine. Houseplants, not. Jane, violently allergic to hawthorn blossom. It's like inhaling custard powder. Have you tried inhaling custard powder? That doesn't sound good. Highly toxic. Yeah, so many of these aren't they? It is, yeah. Lily of the Valley was my nana's favourite flower. It is an old-fashioned one, I think. John, here's my view. If you live in the UK, your 2 books, Magical Food and Magical Plants and Herbs, are better than Cunningham's. Oh, I'm not sure about that, John, but thank you. Highly recommend the book. That is more for the USA. Lots of missing plants that were in your books. Cunningham is a god, basically. But I did for these 2, Eric's going nuts about something. For these 2, I have focused probably more on what's in the UK. But on general plants that everyone will recognise no matter where you are in the world. But thank you, John. Thank you. Very blessed. Lily of the Valley makes Karen feel nauseous. Oh, that's not good. Jane, I wear Lily of the Valley scent when I go to my knit natter group. Average age is about 90. Zinnia loves it. It is a pretty little plant. Really little plant. Christine, Lily of the Valley have blade-shaped leaves and was told in feng shui that blade leaves stop visitors. Yes, that makes sense. Definitely makes sense. It's all association, isn't it? It's all association. Claire always thinks of funerals with Lily of the Valley. Interesting. I always think of the big arum lilies as funeral ones, but we associate things, don't we? We do associate things. Zenny has I have no caring gene. I leave it by admiring them outside where they grow. Yeah. Houseplants are difficult. Yeah, I think that's what I think of, Jenny. Yardley's Lily of the Valley, gift for nanas throughout the ages. I think that's in my head. Yeah, definitely. She'll be inhaling cinnamon powder. Do not do that. There was a fad, wasn't there, going around? Don't do it. Claire uses rescue remedy for time. Oh, interesting. That's one of the bark flower rescue remedy is really good. Sarah, just cleared my hallway and it echoes just like Eric's bark. How do I stop the echo? I don't know what he's seen something in the garden, I expect. Charlie, rather than me cultivate a relationship with fairies, it is as if the relationship is already there. I'm very cautious of fairies. Yeah, I think you have to be. I think fairy work is a calling. I think working with the fae is something that you need to dedicate yourself. It's not something to mess about with, and it's not something to dip in and out of. If you want to work with the fae, you need to really commit yourself to it and do a lot of research. Nikki, wasn't it Lily of the Valley's on Prince? I have no idea, Nikki. I have no idea. Tony, when I lived in the flat, the place was full of houseplants. I do have some. Charlie, can fae be in your DNA? Family, ancestors, or past lives? That would be a question to ask Morgan Daimler. I'm sure if you contact her on Facebook, Charlie, she will answer you that one. Sylvia, front garden was always a bit dull, but could do with nothing with it really. Lived here for 7 years, and in February I was pondering to do something with it. It's not needed anymore. It's full of primroses. Beautiful. Taking over the grass. Sure, it's the fairies who've worked their magic and do realise to offer them greatly for it. That sounds perfect. Jenny, as a youth worker, we lived through the cinnamon challenge. Oh, the milk challenge, the Tide Project. Seriously, where did they get these ideas from? Sometimes think it's miraculous. I sometimes wonder how some people manage to get out of bed in the morning, Jenny, but it's mad, isn't it? Christine, my other half says I'm often away with the fairies. Yeah, but there's a meaning behind that, isn't it? Because fairies often did mislead people. Sarah, I have been drawn. If you hear the call in, then absolutely follow it. But I always advise do your research first. Things may not be as they seem. So I've gone over time, as
it's Sunday now.
Massively. Yeah. Yeah, it's no longer Friday. It's now Sunday. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Hopefully, I've given you some inspiration on the spring flowers. Obviously, it depends on where you are in the world, whether you can see them in your garden or out in the wilds yet. But there's so much magic that can be provided by these magical flowers. The petals, the leaves, be careful with the bulbs because a lot of them are toxic. But drying petals and drying the leaves from them can all be used in magical workings. Jenny says, over time must be the fairies. Oh, no, I have great respect for the fairies. But thank you, everyone, for joining me. If you're at the Wild Witchcraft Conference tomorrow, I will see you there. Otherwise, I will see you next week, hopefully from the new study. Have a great weekend, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me.